Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 1 in a series between Thorzain and Rhett. Game 1 taking place here on Daybreak. Game 1 of a series from Dreamhack. I believe this was taken from the group stages, and I am looking forward to this particular Terran versus Zerg matchup. Now, my apologies yesterday for casting while I was tired. I think it really did show. Trying to just cram everything into a single day with live streaming and everything else while having a full-time job really took a toll on me. And today I'm foregoing live streaming to give you guys a bonus cast of StarCraft 2, and I hope you guys definitely enjoy it to make up for the StarCraft that you guys didn't get to see yesterday. Now, if you guys out there are looking for a Warcraft 3 cast, they are going to be coming up shortly after this. Hopefully I can get everything done just in time, as it looks as though Thorzain is going to be setting up a proxy barracks. Now, a proxy barracks here on Daybreak, this is a strategy that's relatively common just because most Terran players don't like to get to the late game on Daybreak. Daybreak, so many positions, so many ways to maneuver broodlords so that ground units cannot even touch them, forcing you to engage with Vikings, and then those infestors just take them down. Liquid Red is going to spot this very, very easily, and I guess he doesn't mind getting 2-raxed as the drone is just moving straight along. So that is a little bit of a strange maneuver there. What is that drone doing? Is he going to mine minerals? Nope. He realizes his problem and now is going to head back. Now, we did see Quantic STC trying to do a proxy rax against Stefano, and that really didn't work out well. It looks as though Rhett may be able to handle this. He's already pushing down a little bit of pressure towards these SCVs as the drone is now trying to attack the SCV that's attempting to build the barracks. At some point, Thorzain will be pulling off 5 to 6 SCVs from his main base, or maybe just 4 and the 2 that he currently has, to start some aggression. Now, those SCVs are very important in that they are going to be absorbing a lot of that damage. Back over here, you already see 1 Marine has been trained. We are going to go for number 2 and number 3, and here we go. 4 SCVs are on the move. So Thorzain looking to shut down this hatchery. What we're going to most likely see coming in from Red, a cut in production in terms of drones. You can see that he is now waiting on larva. He is going to be double training, and now in comes the drones coming in from the far side. He does know the timing that he can in fact start mining down here if he needs to, if there isn't an attack with SCVs, but there is an attack with SCVs. Spinecrawler now being established. That Spinecrawler does not have armor while it's being built. So that is very important for the Marines to get off some early damage. Otherwise, that 1 Spinecrawler will be there for quite some time. Zerglings now coming down as well. Here we go. Zerglings and drones engaging. There's a beautiful semi-surround with those drones. SCVs are getting taken down. SCVs are popping. Worker kill count 3 to 4 right now, as it looks as though Red is actually coming out ahead. Let's take a look. 5 workers killed. There is still a couple SCVs left. This bunker most likely will get canceled. There you go, as the Marines are now trying to engage. It is 5 Marines against 3 going back and forth. Red does have this 1 Spinecrawler in position, and oh, he's going to uproot it. That will take 12 seconds to reroute. The Marines could get off some easy shots here, but it still does have some armor, as the Zerglings are now pushing back those Marines. Spinecrawler has rooted itself. The Zerglings now trying to chase back down. Will it be able to exchange blows pretty easily? Yes, we are going to see a lot of low hit point Marines and a lot of low hit point Zerglings duke it out. Harvester count now is 14 to 13. And Thorzain is in a very sticky situation. He knows that he did not deal enough damage. And Rhett, even though he doesn't have queens, does have 2 hatcheries now, which means that he is getting about 8 larvae a minute. 8 larvae a minute. Plenty compared to the number of units that I believe Thorzain can currently train. What is this? 4 SCVs here and 2. Okay, it is about 8 to 8. And the fact that larvae are needed in order to train up larvae are also needed in order to train up overlords does balance things out. But we are now going into a queen at the natural, and with that queen and injects, things are going to go very, very well for Rhett. Rhett also was able to sneak by 2 Zerglings into the natural expansion, and this is going to just continue to shut down Thorzain's Expo, he's not going to be able to run up on the bases. He's not going to be able to get into the long economic game that he needs. He's going to be forced to bring a lot of Marines back. And with those Marines separated like that, he's not going to be able to engage nearly as quickly either. One Queen currently sitting guard here, one Spine Crawler. These Marines need to deal a lot of damage. They need to deal, what is that, 40... how many shots is that? 4 divided by about 66. Is that 66 or 70? No, it's actually like 75. Yeah, 75 shots in order to take down this Spine Crawler. And the Spine Crawler does also have natural regeneration, so these Marines will need to deal a lot of damage to that Spine Crawler just because of that base 2 armor. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look. The Zerglings are now going to perhaps circumnavigate around the map. More SCVs being brought over once more. Double barracks here, continuing that pressure. Are the Marines going to be able to bring it, or are the Queens with 1 armor going to be able to fend this off? And I do believe that to be the case, especially with now a second Spine Crawler added on to the front door. Here we go, SCVs and Marines. SCVs now trying to get into the front. Oh, the timing could be a little bit better here as the Zerglings are now going to try to come and get us around. The Spine Crawler has already gotten off a few pokes and taking down many Marines. Meanwhile, Zerglings are now on the inside in the main part of the base. I believe Liquid Red will be forced to lift up these barracks and go back home, tail between his legs, knowing that he was not able to stop Rhett at all. Red now just running around with these Zerglings. Every minute that these SCVs are not mining is essentially 40 minerals lost. So with this many SCVs, 16 SCVs, what is that? Every 4 seconds is 40 minerals lost. If you want to do about an average. Marines are now heading back. The barracks are lifting off. One to do a bit of scouting, one perhaps to return back home. But that is going to be a loss of a very important production building as all of the units have been cleaned up. Thorzain now running on 2 bases. Liquid Red now transitioning into 3 bases with a 46 to 26 worker advantage. This is going to be a brilliant transition for Red. Red, with a couple more injects, will be able to fully saturate that 3rd base. Or less, no diminishing returns saturate that 3rd base rather quickly. There's already over 16 harvesters here. So what is that? 22 harvesters there. Meanwhile, let's take a look in the main base here, and you can see what 20 or 19 harvesters there. So we are already at diminishing returns in terms of expansions. Liquid Red wants to set up this expansion. He's going to be able to do exactly that, and I don't believe Thorzain can really muster anything back unless we see some brilliant play. The longer the game goes, the more of a chance that Thorzain will be able to even things up. Perhaps playing a little bit defensively, utilizing maybe Ravens with Seeker Missile, exchanging energy and time for units. That's always a very good exchange there. Ghost used to be the go-to unit for Terran against Zerg, but that is no longer the case for quite some time now. Now that Snipe only does a measly 25 damage. Maybe sniping down a Queen would still be pretty beneficial. Alright, let's take a look at this here. Zerglings now running back. And Red is just letting off the gas a little bit. He knows he doesn't need to apply the pressure. He's just trying to kind of trying to drift into victory, or just slide into victory now. You can see that Thorzain is doing everything that he can to get back into this game economically, setting up more orbital commands. You can see that Zerglings are now trying to come in. An SCV caught on the wrong side of the command center, quickly picked off there. And now more and more units are still backing off. We are now seeing a transition into a Spire, though. And with this transition into a Spire, Red is taking a little bit of a chance. He is trying to go into air map control, hoping that his opponent is not going to continue to produce the Marines that he is currently seeing. We can see that we are now transitioning into Infernal Pre-Igniter and level 1 vehicle and weapons upgrades. So this is a definite sign that Thorzain is trying to go into heavy mech based upon his upgrades, which might be a little bit of bad news for Rhett, as Thors can shut down Mutalisk once they have those proper upgrades. 2-0 upgrades on a Thor can 2-shot a Mutalisk. Very important, since Thors do generally attack relatively slow, and also they have that all-important splash damage. Alright, Blue Flame Tech is about to be completed. You can see currently now 7 Hellions, and these Hellions look to light up the road here in just a moment. All of these drones are going to be invited to a barbecue. They are going to be the main course in just a moment. And here we go. Level 1 weapons attack not quite done. It will take 3 shots from these Hellions in order to take them down, as opposed to 2. And that could be a little bit of the saving grace here. Here we go. Hellions now making their way out across the map. There are Zerglings here, and now in come the Mutalisk. Mutalisk and Roaches are already there to intercept, and this could cause a problem. 1 Hellion already down. Hellions now going or trying to run away from those flying Mutalisks. The Mutalisks are slightly slower, but can still attack because they are flying units, meaning that they do not have to worry about the terrain and making those sharp turns. Thorzain now going into his third base. As we see, there is 1 single Viking in the air. Thor now trying to make its way down over here, as there is a missile turret as well. 1 missile turret as effective as 4 Marines with better range, as the Viking now going to be pushing back these groups of Mutalisks once again. Alright, Zerglings now testing the waters, perhaps going to catch his opponent off guard. Thorzain now down by about 60 supply. In comes the Zerglings, in comes the Roaches. All of Zerglings invited to that barbecue, and now what is happening here? Roaches trying to make their way over. It looks as though the orbital command may get taken down. Zerglings taking down 1 refinery, and nope, not going to be going after the other. Hellions now making their way over as well. SCVs perhaps going to be doing a bit of repairing. There is a Viking in the group, and it looks as though the Mutalisks are getting away with the arrival of 2 Thors with 1/1 upgrades. Rhett still sitting on about an 80 supply advantage. Rhett needs to start attacking and making the attacks count, as once he gets up to maximum supply, he knows that every minute he waits is a minute longer that Thorzain gets to rebuild his army. Alright, I guess we are just waiting for the last group of Roaches and perhaps that infestation pit to complete. We are going to see a transition into Infestors, as the Overlords are now making their way in. And what is this? The Overlords, do they have? Yes, they do have the Ventral Sack upgrades, and we are going into old school Broodlord strategies, a Doom drop of Overlords. Alright, Overlords, 16 Overlords on the move. That is going to be a whole bunch of them getting ready to unload, and this could be issues. Here we go, gonna go ahead and unload them here. Roaches are now down, units are now down all off over the place, and now we are going to see all of these Thors and Hellions trying to make their way back. This is the problem with Thors. They are rather slow, cannot arrive to the party, especially in a tight base battle like this. Now Mutalisks are making their way over here into the third base as well, so pressuring in the main, pressuring in the third. Roaches cleaning up much of the production buildings here, and how much damage has been done. Red now with 32 worker kills, 85 to 42. Roaches now making their way, taking down siege tank after siege tank. It looks as though the Thors will be able to stop some of that damage, but not before perhaps some of the armories will get taken down. No, SCVs now working overtime, trying to save that armory. The Roaches now fighting back as well, as we now still see more SCVs running away from these Roaches. Roaches are upgraded only 1, 2. They need a full 3 shots in order to take down an SCV. And we are seeing what I believe to be the beginning of the end. Roaches now trying to make their way forward. Will perhaps be able to, yes, shut down 1 more siege tank, as the Roaches are now backing away. 199 supply. We are now transitioning into a greater spire and another spire for upgrades. A murder of Broodlords are going to be doing exactly that, murdering Thorzain here. There's not enough of Vikings in the air, and now maybe just this massed Roach push is going to be enough. Yeah, with this massed Roach army gonna be able to shut this down, and there you have it. Thorzain losing game 1 in this best of 3. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.